You are now locked in to the latest and the greatest on the Android system. This is the channel that gives you information every day in every way possible. Make sure you hit that like button as well as hitting the bell and join the family so you could subscribe and see all the videos that I made especially for you. I'll be right back after this. Peace. Oh, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Serrano. How's everybody doing today? Today we're gonna take a closer look at the Blade X Max for Cricket Wireless and the Stylo 3 Plus for Metro PCS. Now, doing a little in further research on both of these phones. What I happened to notice was that they had the identical processors inside of there. So they're actually both running on the exact same software here. So let me just go further in detail about both these two phones because they're actually both really great phones, but you won't actually be able to use them the same way that you use the other one. Now, let me dive further into some detail so I can explain what I mean. Let's start off with the body of the phones. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that the display is IPS LCD, but it has a protection called Dragon Tail Glass, which is not the best in the world. Let me turn that screen off and you can see that there's a large kind of a line going down here. I don't know if you could see that, but it doesn't affect using the phone whatsoever. But I just happened to drop this phone off of my bed. It was about a 3-foot drop, and that thing just got a jagged edge all the way. It wasn't really jagged, it's clean. I could like rub my finger across it and not get scathed or anything like that. But what I did notice is that that screen split immediately from a 3-foot drop, which is uncharacteristic of any of the phones I've ever had before. Not only that, but the top portion of the display detached from the phone itself from that drop. And I was a little bit shocked because that drop was not the highest drop in the world. And that thing immediately just split. So just based on quality standpoint and reference, this CTE phone with that dragon tail glass is not one of the best built phones in the world. I had to actually get some Gorilla Glue and just paste that thing back down. But basically I do love the large display of this phone. I also do love the sound coming out of it. It has a Dolby Audio sound system. One of the other things I do love is that it has a fingerprint sensor, which is actually really fast. So let me just show you. So that thing takes about a second to turn on, and that thing is super fast. Um, the other thing I do like about it is this like glass, almost glossy back coming to it. It's probably just like a plastic, but it has this like transparent look that is definitely really beautiful. The only thing about this phone is that you definitely need to have a case on this thing. I dropped this thing without a case on there, and that thing immediately split wide open right there on the side glass. I could still actually use it for gaming lightly, and pretty much doing what I have to do. But that build quality, I would say, is not the best in the world for that dragon tail. That protection is not comparable to like a Corning Gorilla Glass, because this thing, at any given little scrape, it would capture it on the screen, and then that thing just cracked immediately from a 3-foot drop. Now, when we're talking about the Stylo 3 Plus, we're talking about a solid device in the mid-range category all around. This thing is built really well, given the fact that this is a plastic back cover, but it's actually very durable. I mean, I've dropped this thing several times, and the only thing I got was a little scrape going across the back here, which you could barely even see. Um, this thing can withstand a lot of drops. The build quality is really good. It feels solid in your hand, and definitely has some really good grip when you're actually using it. So you don't really necessarily need a case. It also has a decent speaker, good fingerprint sensor, and good camera with a pen feature added there. It also has NFC as well. The funny thing is, both of these phones have this identical software inside of them. So the Stylo 3 Plus is running on the Snapdragon 435 MS. I think it's SMS 8940 or something like that. But they both have the identical ARM Cortex 8 ARM 53 um, inside of it, and they also do have the same octa-core 1.4 gigahertz processor. But one of the things that separates these phones is that what I noticed is I can actually game with PUBG on the Stylo 3 Plus. Now, when I go ahead and try to game with the um, Blade X Max with the identical PUBG game, what I did know is that I did experience not only stuttering and lagging, but that thing wouldn't even go past the first 5 minutes of gaming on there. So there's something wrong with the software inside of the Blade X Max. It has identical software to the LG Stylo 3 Plus, but for some reason, it doesn't hold up well on the Blade X Max. I'm not sure what it is. Let me just show you a brief video of that. So like we're taking a look at PUBG on the Stylo 3 Plus at this point, and there isn't anything to bellyache about when you're playing on here. The graphics are squeaky clean, and right here you can see this is like the first part where you're like diving into the arena to like get started. But that thing didn't skip a frame yet. Everything looks really smooth. Let me not jinx it, but yeah, right now, you know, it's looking really good on PUBG here for the LG Stylo 3 Plus. So look at those graphics as I run into the warehouse, and you can see that everything is going really well here. There's not much to bellyache about or complain, or there's no hiccups or anything like that. Look how quick he's picking up the weapons, moving around. He's very mobile and tactile here. Everything just seems to be butter smooth for the LG Stylo 3 Plus. So now we've updated the PUBG on the X Max. Let's see how that performs after an update. Now another thing to note is that the X Max does not have the 5 gigahertz band for Wi-Fi, whereas the LG Stylo 3 Plus does have the 5 gigahertz band for Wi-Fi. Let me go ahead and check out if anything has changed with those graphics on the on the graphics for the X Max, so we can actually see if we can game with this thing. So I'm just starting the game now, and that thing immediately froze. There's no responsiveness whatsoever. I just got an invite from one of my teammates, but as you can see here, I can't even I have no ability to actually move. The screen is completely frozen. Alright, so you could see here that it is connected to LTE on the Cricket wireless network. Let's try that one more time. There. Um, but You will actually be able to play PUBG here and there. I mean, you will experience some lag here and there, um, which is expected because there you see it did freeze. So that's not a good thing if you're actually playing the game. You could see I'm getting shot and I'm not able to move or defend myself. So if you're trying to decide whether you want to get the LG Stylo 3 Plus or the LG Stylo 3 or even comparable to the X Max, and you're a gamer, I definitely wouldn't recommend the X Max. As you can see, my screen is still frozen from that gaming situation we just had here, and now it's back actually on. So it's not the best in the world for gaming, but everything else it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and test out some of the sound quality on the X Max. So that seems to be all the way up. For some reason, my Dolby Audio actually stopped working with this device. I'm not sure what is going on with the X Max, but I don't even have the Dolby Audio option anymore. But the sound does seem to be really good and really clear, and it does seem really loud, which is actually awesome. So this is the 3 Plus. Now, what the X Max does extremely well is actually watching movies. Let's go ahead and take a quick picture and just compare the two. First, we'll do the Blade X Max. You see you do get flash. I'll turn that on so we can get like a really good picture here. And then let's do the Stylo 3 Plus. When you zoom in, it's just so clear, and there's no there's no fuzziness or blurriness on the picture. So that's why the Stylo is a little bit better, because you're just getting a clear, crystal clear picture, whereas this one you could see that it's a little bit blurry on those letters, little grainy, but the picture when you zoom out is absolutely beautiful as well. So when you compare them side by side, the Blade Max looks a little bit brighter, but when it comes to clarity, you're getting the better clarity with the Stylo 3 Plus. So that about wraps up my synopsis of these two phones. I definitely think that if you're looking for a phone that you definitely want to do everything with, you definitely want to get that Stylo, because you're going to be able to get a whole lot of gaming, a whole lot of video play, a whole lot of music. The battery life is pretty much similar. At the Stylo definitely lasts all day long, and so does the X Max. But I just feel like it is a little bit better. Definitely the Stylo 3 Plus with that NFC feature. You're getting a pretty really quick fingerprint sensor, and you also get like face unlock as well. And you don't get that with the X Max. So the fingerprint sensor is pretty decent. It takes about a second or so to unlock. So it's the fingerprint sensor is definitely better on the X Max. It's a little bit quicker, but you're definitely getting more pixels per inch on the screen with the Stylo, and just overall more features. So yeah, it's a better performer, has a better display with that 1080 with more pixels in it, and this one is actually 1080 as well. But the overall build quality of the X Max does not match up to the one of the Stylo 3 Plus. They definitely put everything in here, whereas there's some glitches inside of the X Max. But I definitely love the big screen on here for the price. The price definitely translates to the purchase for $99. I mean, this one is still almost $200. It's about $180 at Metro PCS. Um, but definitely would recommend the Stylo 3 Plus over top of the X Max. Now that I'm actually using both phones, and I'm seeing that this one has some glitches inside of the software, where this one I already got like 5 or 6 updates on. So they're on top of the software with the Stylo on the LG Stylo 3 Plus, whereas the X Max got one software update, kind of fixed some of the glitches, but there's still some bugs in here. Well, that about does it for the comparison of the Stylo 3 Plus to the Blade X Max. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Hope you found any information here helpful to you whatsoever. If you did, please click that like button. Show your appreciation for the channel by leaving a comment down below and hitting that like button right now, so I could continue to make really detailed videos just like this one. Every single like helps, and I hope you do check out the full catalog of videos I made just for you. But in the meantime, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and depending on where you are, have a great night. Peace.